Ooh, this one, guys. Tosh.0 and Ridiculous lawsuit. Or
Family competition.
over stolen shit, whatever. So I thought it was lawsuit for some reason. I used to watch Tosh.0. I didn't really watch Ridiculousness. I didn't watch a lot of Tosh.0, but I think because like the way that Tosh.0 made his format, they actually like invited the people of like these memes and viral video people for the most part. Compared to like Ridiculous was just playing like what like right now we watch a random video of a funny video of a crazy video, that kind of thing. That kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, ridiculousness. Sorry. Not I didn't watch that many. Touch.0? Yeah.
Over two similar TV shows escalated quickly when Rob Dyrdek threatened Daniel Tosh. Then again, Tosh joking about Rob being a PDF file was potentially taking things too far.
What? You want me to apologize? For what? You being a bitch?
The Ridiculousness vs. Tosh.0 beef was surprising because both of these guys are generally well liked, but their polar opposite motivations for creating a comedy clip show was the perfect recipe for disaster. Rob once said, "I try to seize every opportunity I can. I've already filled my bucket list many times over. Business is my passion." Rob's life has been seemingly a never-ending stairway to success, becoming a professional skateboarder as a teenager, starting his own skateboard accessory company, designing a shoe that generated him $300,000 per year in royalties, founding a hip-hop record label, doing magazine covers, wearing iced-out Rolexes, teaming up with his security guard to produce and act in Robin Big, an MTV reality show that stole the hearts of millions of fans around the world, only to follow that up with another banger of a show called Fantasy Factory, which was literally a show about him pursuing new business ventures while messing around with his friends. He even became a stuntman, jumping a speeding car backwards, barrel rolling a Chevy Sonic, and getting mauled by a tiger. Rob documented his exhilarating life, elevating his public persona while leveraging his celebrity status to secure a multi-million-dollar fortune. Daniel Tosh, on the other hand, once said, "Stand-up is the only thing I have ever been good at, and even that depends on who you ask." While Rob was steamrolling through life, accomplishing everything his heart desired, Daniel Tosh was merely focused on one thing: building a comedic legacy.
I waste so much time in my life. I could have accomplished so much more, but I have no dreams, like real dreams. I sit at home thinking about, how come nobody with a Lamborghini ever pulls up next to me and is like, "Hey man, you want this car?" I'm like, yeah, I do. Yes! I got a Lamborghini today.
Tosh got his start hosting a show called Tens for a local television station called Whammy in Miami, Florida, where Daniel would interview and mock the best-looking guys and girls on South Beach. He moved to Los Angeles in the late 90s and performed short stand-up sets in comedy clubs to slowly build his reputation. In 2001, he got a spot on The Late Show with David Letterman, which helped him become a recognizable face in the comedy scene.
You think it's trendy for young kids in Japan to get tattoos of words written in English?
With that momentum, he was able to book comedy shows around the country, with a majority of those being held at universities. From there, he launched his first special in 2003 on Comedy Central.
That's a game I used to play as a child. The floor is lava. It's when you'd climb on all the furniture in your house and you couldn't touch the floor. Yeah, you might have called it something completely different, but it meant the same thing. You were poor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I remember going, "Mom, I would like a Nintendo." And she's like, "The floor is lava." I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with our house? Why can't we afford carpet? It's called two jobs, bitch."
Tosh simply focused on mastering his craft for years, working on material to gear up for the release of his second Comedy Central special, Completely Serious.
I was watching the country music channel the other day and I fell asleep and I woke up racist.
As we entered 2008, YouTube and Facebook were slowly taking over pop culture, with random hilarious videos going viral every day. Comedy Central brainstormed an idea for a comedy clips show, and Tosh was a master of short, punchy jokes. Combine that with a fearless approach to controversial topics, an immense cult-like following of college kids, and devilish good looks, Comedy Central knew he was their star. Tosh.0 debuted in the summer of 2009 and focused on showcasing viral internet videos, memes, social media content, and trending topics, accompanied by Tosh's satirical commentary and often controversial humor.
So I came up with a list of brand new terms that have absolutely no racial connotation whatsoever. I field tested them with an extremely diverse focus group.
Sugar taster. That's a little offensive.
What do you think sugar taster means?
I don't know. I don't know why you think that he tastes sugar.
Why do you keep pointing to the black person?
That's what I want.
They?
The concept of this show is not really original. Before Tosh, you had The Soup, hosted by Joel McHale, Web Junk, hosted by Patrice O'Neal, and even YouTuber Ray William Johnson laid the foundation for Equals 3 slightly before Tosh. Now, most clip shows rely on the clips themselves to produce the humor, almost removing the need for a host in the first place. And while Tosh did find good content that is funny, shocking, or absurd on its own, more often than not, it was his jokes and commentary that actually made the clips funnier.
Seems you guys finally pushed the foremost authority on style past his breaking point.
This video is for all you stupid f***ing trolls and haters online, saying mean and hurtful things about fedoras.
You're not the only cool guy whose hat game has been mocked.
You wish you could pull off a cloche. You imbeciles know nothing of this hat.
But what made Tosh.0 stand out from all the rest was the iconic web redemption segment he would do at the end of every episode. Tosh would invite one of the individuals who became viral for embarrassing or cringeworthy moments on the show for a chance to redeem themselves. He would interview them with his signature sarcastic humor and allow them to share more details behind the viral clip, then finalizing the bit with a reenactment of their viral moment with an absurd or comedic twist. He brought on classic internet
A
CRM shouldn't set your teams back.
stars like Welvin D's Nuts to Great.
You know Malone, right?
Carl?
No, Malone.
No, what's Malone?
Malone.
Oh, you long. Yeah, I got it.
He also brought on pretty much every iconic local news viral sensation: Sweet Brown, the I Like Turtles kid, and Antoine Dodson.
You know, I like Turtles. I feel like
they know I'm openly gay. That's mainly what I want to get out. I don't get
that you're gay? I think people knew that about 1 second into your video.
No.
And even though this was just a clip show, clearly sketch comedy was where Daniel Tosh thrived.
Right.
The first season of Tosh.0 was a surprise hit
segment.
and averaged more than 1 million viewers per episode. But then it got even bigger. The second season averaged nearly 2 million total viewers and was the most watched show in its time slot among men 18 to 24 and men 18 to 34. Tosh.0 was absolutely taking over. Little did he know he had some competition on the horizon, as Rob Dyrdek, who was equally loved, was about to launch Ridiculousness, a show that was suspiciously similar to Tosh.0. Even though Ridiculousness premiered 2 years after Tosh.0, Rob claims he actually came up with the idea 4 years prior and even sold it to MTV.
Now I was doing both of them at the same.
That's just called bullshit. It's pure bullshit. Like, I don't know who believes that. You cannot believe that, honestly. Unless he showcased some paperwork. Like, yeah, because he said he submitted 4 years ago before Tosh.0. Then yeah, I call that bullshit.
Times I actually sold them both at the exact same time.
They bought 2 shows from you at one time.
Because originally I read the article like in 2007 of Vinny DeBona's $500 million global syndication of America's Funniest Home Videos, and was like, man, like I need to make that. I should just make the cool version of America's Funniest Home Videos.
While Tosh.0 was optimized to make people laugh, Ridiculousness was optimized to make money. In 2008 and 2009, Rob spent most of his days filming episodes for Fantasy Factory, and they just took a lot of time. Planning extravagant stunts like jumping a speeding car backwards would take months of planning and preparation. Now, MTV was paying him $125,000 per episode, so a little more effort was worth it, but they only offered to pay him $30,000 per episode for Ridiculousness. So from a business perspective, he wanted to spend as little time working on that show to maximize his revenue.
Just such a nightmare, and I'd be there all day, to where now I shoot 8 of them in under 5 hours, right? So it's a much more highly optimized, efficient machine. And then for me, it takes very little energy and time to execute it. And it's sort of brand neutral. A lot of people don't even know if I still film them. You know what I mean? They don't even realize I shoot 336 brand new ones every single year, you know.
However, many critics believe that this business model negatively impacts the quality of the show. Ridiculousness is about as basic of a clip show as it gets. Rob hosts alongside Sterling Stilo Brim and Chanel West Coast. They play viral internet videos, often featuring people's outrageous, embarrassing, or downright bizarre antics grouped together in themed segments.
You can get too much air, right? And as someone that spent his whole life flying through the air, there's occasionally you push it too far and you get broken. Just like everybody in this category, TMA, too much air.
It was very basic. Like very basic.
Man,
That's some rough water to land into.
Man, it's just rough altogether. You gotta go.
What are you doing?
Like, about right here, it's time to bail out.
It really is.
Okay,
You gotta let go. Why are you this high in the air?
Man, and you were about
Like, this is like, personally, this is why I it's crazy how this show lasted this long. Is this how long did it last? Maybe they'll say in the video.
to start going down. You bailed at the wrong time.
There is no scripting and very little rehearsal. Rob essentially goes on set, does a sort of freestyle reaction to whatever he is watching, which usually results in him just laughing or highlighting exactly what the viewer just saw.
Reactor before reactor, guys. It lasted 42 effing seasons. No way, dude. What? Look at this, guys. Look at the seasons. All like there's short seasons, but because it's so of a basic a show where they could do at least 5 shows like very fast. Look at that, 16 episodes, 20 episodes. Bro, it lasted all. It's still going to this day. Oh no, it's TBA. No, I think I got canceled. That is crazy. It lasted this long. It's a very basic show. Like very basic. Personally, I don't understand when people watch it. Like I at first I'm pretty sure like the curiosity because it is Rob, but like you're like at one point you're like this is just basic.
She don't want no siblings.
Man, not only that, but he can't even get up to punish her. She said, "Ah."
Occasionally, Rob will invite a celebrity guest on who also tends to give a basic, raw reaction to the content. Howie Mandel recalled his experience being on the show.
So I went in, I walked right onto the set. They said roll. I was out of there. It's a half-hour show, is it? I think I was out of there in 40 minutes.
Season 1, Episode 1 of Ridiculousness aired on August 29th, 2011 and started off hot, averaging about 2 million viewers per episode. That made it extremely competitive with Tosh.0's viewership, so he decided to say something. Tosh tweeted, "Congrats, Rob Dyrdek. New show looks very funny and familiar." Dyrdek fired back, "Thank you so much, Daniel Tosh. Maybe later this week, you, Bob Saget, and Tom Bergeron can come down to my factory and play." This sarcastic back and forth between the two seemed harmless, but secretly, Tosh was plotting his revenge on Rob. Shortly after their online exchange, Tosh.0 dedicated an entire web redemption segment to trolling Rob. Tosh interviews his guest, who was a skateboarder that was struck by a vehicle in his viral video, only to find out that they are conducting the interview in Tony Hawk's pool.
Got to.
No way.
You gotta get back up on that rail.
Hey, you kids, how many damn times I gotta tell you to quit draining my pool? Now fill it back up or I'm calling the police.
You always been this cranky old man Hawk?
You kids are wasting your lives. No one's ever made a living riding a skateboard. Now get! Suck it!
Tosh bringing Tony Hawk into a sketch dissing Rob Dyrdek is Drake-level pettiness. Anyways, Tosh...
Grow your business with subscriptions on Shopify and be like Better Booch.
We launched subscriptions in about December of
brings his guests to a skate park inside of a warehouse called Daniel's Childish Dreams Factory for Young Boys Only, which is quite literally the exact same building as Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, but with the sign covered. Tosh is dressed exactly like Rob, wearing a zip-up hoodie, a flat brim hat cocked sideways, while holding 2 puppies.
Welcome to my Childish Dream Factory for Young Boys Only.
It's a lot like the Fantasy Factory.
No, it doesn't. This is my own original idea that I had years ago before he did. I was just too busy with other projects to see it through. This place is awesome. It's got everything you could ever want if the only thing you ever wanted was to hang out with 12-year-old shirtless boys.
Throughout the sketch, Tosh acts like a creep towards the little boys, even offering them a suspicious beverage with pills in it. At the end, the skateboarder crashes into Tosh's friend, Big Sack, a parody of Rob's best friend, Christopher Big Black Boykin. The sketch is hilarious, but Dyrdek didn't like the idea that his name was being joked about alongside Belia. He tweeted, "The idea of having beef with Daniel Tosh is truly embarrassing. For real. Imagine that. Clip show host beef. But the beef is now very real." Followed by, "I am not a comedian or an actor, So unfortunately for Daniel Tosh, we are going to have to settle this the old-fashioned way. Hashtag see you soon. To which Tosh responded, fair enough, but if you have to beat me up, can we film it and put it on my show so people will actually watch it? As if threatening physical violence against Tosh wasn't already the worst possible way to react to being hilariously trolled, Tosh absolutely demolished him with that response on Twitter. Rob did not fire back on Twitter, but he did seem a bit agitated.
Tosh feels like I just watched his show and then decided to do a video show because his show was successful, which is so absurd to me. If I did in fact look at that and be like, oh, I could do a version of that, which is just so ridiculousness. But I don't know. For whatever reason, he's really butthurt about it. And the idea, he's like a comedian who writes these skits around all the stuff. I just play videos and just get up there and freestyle. I'm not a comedian, so that's really what it stems from, and why he's so emotional about my show is beyond me. It's really insane.
He even suggested he might still be willing to throw hands.
He got out of pocket, then I got a little out of pocket via Twitter, which you don't do, because if you take something personal, you should probably handle it.
Yeah, I heard you said you're gonna beat him up.
I didn't say that.
You kind of did, dude.
I didn't say that. What we like to say is we're putting that behind us.
We're putting it behind us. So if you guys run into each other, it'll be all good.
Yeah, who knows? You never know.
It seemed like most people were siding with Tosh, with one fan explaining, Tosh takes shots at everyone, just like South Park does. It's comedy and poking fun at each other. It's part of it. This is not a controversy or beef. It's a comedy skit. Rob's the one who is butthurt. Tosh has never said anything about his feud with Deerdeck after this controversy. However, we do know that he's not one to apologize.
You want to apologize? For what? You being a bitch?
We recently got insight that he and his team felt some level of disdain towards Deerdeck and Ridiculousness when YouTuber Roman Atwood recalled a story of the Tosh.0 team trying to purchase one of his viral clips.
Tosh.0 was calling, and all these shows were calling that I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. You guys were in season 1. I believe. Even sooner than
we call for the video?
Yeah, but what happened was Tosh.0. Tosh wanted it, and they said, this is his true story. He said, yeah, Ridiculous is never going to make it past season 1.
Tosh.0's team could not have been more wrong. Even through the rise of social media and decline of traditional cable TV, Ridiculousness remained a dominant show. Even though the viewership declined during episode premieres, they would air the show anytime, any day, and people would not change the channel. It's easily digestible content. There is no storyline you have to follow, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's one of those shows where you're clicking on the TV, you're looking for something to watch just randomly, and then boom, hey, we're about to show the next clip. Oh, what? What's the next clip? Oh, that's funny, huh? What's the next clip? Oh, it's like TikTok. All right? It's like TikTok TV, pretty much. That's literally what it is. And there's a couple other people there to pretty much commented on it, and that's pretty much it. But it's literally TikTok TV. That's literally what it is.
What season or episode you're watching. Even if it's 2 a.m. and you don't have any brain capacity to focus, you can still watch it. Hell, you could probably watch this show with the volume muted and it still might be engaging. Around 2018, Ridiculousness occupied about 60% of the network's time slots, sometimes airing for multiple days straight with no breaks. To celebrate MTV's 40th anniversary, which...
Yeah, because MTV had literally no content for the network itself. For reruns and stuff. So, and since Ridiculousness, like you said, he just recorded, there's so many episodes out there, it's crazy.
Which does stand for music television, by the way. They aired Ridiculousness for 24 hours straight. Ridiculousness has produced 42 seasons, having over 1,000 episodes, and likely has hundreds, maybe thousands of more episodes to come. The production company Rob Deerdeck built that produced Ridiculousness, called Superjacket, he sold to Thrill One Sports and Entertainment for $190 million.
You know what I mean? I just go and freestyle them. I'm it for 30 minutes.
I don't know. I still think the Ridiculous show is literally no effort whatsoever. It's just more digestible compared to a more high quality show like Tosh.0, in my opinion. But like I said, bro, people are just there's nothing to watch. Oh, what's this? It's like zombies, bro.
Minutes and it's oh, you just did a flawless show where you just made everything up. You know what I mean? It's it's really just sort of this fun, fast-paced experience. But make no mistake, It is only for the money.
Tosh.0, on the other hand, was canceled by Comedy Central in 2020, but still it thrived for 12 seasons spanning over a decade during the downfall of cable. It's even more impressive that Tosh basically did everything he could to stay anonymous.
I would say that if he was in a better network, because Comedy Central, I feel like it wasn't a perfect network to a certain point for the show to like last for a very long time. It could have still been going to this day, because his show goes with the current times, right? Especially with the way the internet works, right? Because I'm pretty sure if his show was still going, we probably would have seen some streamers on there. He probably would have gone like invited streamers. He would have involved the show and invited content creators, YouTubers, whatever, and invited to his show. Because how many of them are going viral? How many of them have controversies? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it would have gone into streamers. He would have invited those streamers into the show.
Tosh rarely had celebrity guests. He hired a team to run his social media for him. He never did interviews. He never did any box office hit movies. He never did major brand sponsorships. He never collaborated on tours with other comedians. He never jumped on podcasts. He never did a roast. All he did was focus on making the best show possible and ultimately letting his comedy speak for itself. And he had a damn good run. It's unlikely that these two men still hold any animosity towards each other. Rob admitted he overreacted, and it's clear that Tosh was just trolling. Just because Rob made a clip show designed for profit doesn't make him a bad guy, especially considering how brutally honest he is about it. Rob Dyrdek gave his fans high quality, amazing content for years via Robin Big and Fantasy Factory, so he is well deserving of his success. Tosh is hilarious, and was hilarious until the very end of his show, and him being a great comedian was all his fans ever wanted from him. So in the end, they both won.
I will say he could come back if he wants to bring it back now. I think it could bring it back.
What started out as,
in my personal opinion, I feel like he could bring back the show now if he wants to. But I don't think he wants to, in my opinion. I always remember meeting Daniel and filming my episode of Tosh.0. It was a dream come true for me because I grew up watching the show. Something requires an attention span. Ridiculous. It's like scrolling through TikTok. That's exactly what I said. He's a comedian who writes all this stuff. I just play videos. That doesn't exactly bolster your position, Rob. Tosh was right though. Ridiculous became like infomercials. You can fall asleep, wake up, and just on. It's like a baseball or morning soft operas. It's just on for the background noise. Tosh was just way funnier. It was a way high quality show, and also he didn't have a network. Because the thing is, Rob was MTV at one point. He probably is too. I don't know. I haven't watched MTV in a while, but he was MTV with the shows he created, and like how boosted the numbers he did for MTV at that point. So he was MTV. I'm surprised nobody got tired of him. Met Tosh once. He's actually a good dude. He was very lovely to my disabled brother. What Redemption was such a good idea. It was well executed, 100%. I think they can still do something like that today. Ridiculousness was shoved down on our throats for years, 100%. The reason people didn't change the channel is because that's what we did back then. We turned on MTV, let it play in the background. Doesn't mean we were happy with the 12-hour blocks of ridiculousness 6 days a week. Thousands of people were complaining on Twitter. We literally begged for reruns of other shows. MTV ignored us, much like they did when they were writing in the other station pleading for them to go back to playing music videos. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, MTV, what they used to do, instead of playing like a show like that, they just play music videos all like 24/7. I remember that. It's while he can be so good and edgy jokes while still being respectful and fun to his guests, pretty much. Back in the day, Tosh.0 was the closest you could get to being on the internet, and some reducing jails like Lightsaber for real. Tosh never gave a shit about Rob. He just clowning on him. Yeah, it was literally just for clout. I mean, yeah, like clout and good like promotion for the show. That's pretty much it. My God, man, getting off of work, grabbing dinner, watching Tosh.0. My favorite part of the day. Yeah, it lasted for 12 seasons, dude. That was a very long time. So he made it a very successful show. You can never take that away from Tosh. He made a very, very successful show.